welcome to Club Cook. Again, we're going to make a vegetable biryani today, which is an Indian-based dish, but really you can make it as spicy or completely unspicy. And the lovely thing about it is it can use all sorts of bits and bobs you've got left over, any veg at all. You can add meat, you could add lamb or chicken. Cooked meat is best in chunks. But today we'll just do it with vegetables. Now I'm going to start by chopping the vegetables. So I've got my board, but always the safe way to chop chop anything on a board is to put a damp cloth underneath. So I just dampen my cloth. And really squeeze the cloth out and just fold that into two. Now that just stops your board slipping. You can really push on that and it won't slip, so it's a really safe way to chop. We're going to use, as I say, you can use any vegetables. I'm choosing some broccoli, pepper, I've got half a courgette in the fridge, and a little parsnip there, and a couple of carrots that sort of look like they need using up, so perfect for this, and some onion. So, what should we start with? We'll start with the onion. Cut it in half long ways, and we'll keep that end on. Just peel off the outer skins. And chopping down with a sharp knife, if you have one. I learned a lovely tip about sharpening your knives. I've got a very lovely butcher to go to. You may have a local butcher, probably not the meat counter at Tesco, but a proper butcher. Go and ask nicely if they'll sharpen your knives for you, and they're brilliant. And if you buy half a pound of mince at the same time, I'm sure they'll be happy. Courgette, nice and easy to chop. Probably don't need all of that. I'm cutting these into reasonably small chops, pieces, just because they'll roast together about the same time. Now, broccoli. I love broccoli. Most children quite like broccoli. They're not all, but here. Now, I always use, one of my favourite parts of the broccoli is the stem. I don't know if you use the stem. I would just cut the end off that's got a bit dry. And I would peel that base. Honestly, this is one of the most delicious vegetables, broccoli stems. Sounds weird if you don't use it, but that's a big chunk of veg to throw away, and it's actually very sweet and nice when you cook it. So you've got the little florets there, just in pieces, that'll do. Cauliflower works really well too. I'm just going to cut that into little cubes. I'm all for not wasting veg, as you might know. This little pile here is accumulating. Onion skins, broccoli peelings, there's going to be some carrot skins now. Partly because this carrot is has been in the fridge for a few days, so I won't put anything that looks really grotty in there, but the skin is fine. All of that, and the other peelings, is going to go for a stock. You can make vegetable stock. All you have to do is put all of that in a pan of water and simmer it for about an hour. And you'll get some lovely free homemade vegetable stock. If you don't want to do that straight away, just get a little plastic bag, pop those in, collect them. You can pop them in the freezer And then if you eat meat, if you had some chicken bones or a lamb bone or something, you could, when you finish with the bone, you could make stock with that and add your frozen bag of peelings and vegetables. Onion skins make fantastic stock and a lovely colour. You don't have to peel the carrots and the parsnips. You could give them a really good scrub if they're quite fresh. But if you're using the peelings for stock, you want the peelings. Those in my bag. Some pepper. Really easy way to core a pepper. Chop it in half, grab that end bit and just pull it. There. We'll cube that as well. Lovely rainbow mix of veg there. I really lovely when you see all the different colours, and I think it makes it a bit nicer to eat too when it looks really colourful. Now we're just going to get a baking tray or a baking dish, a little bit of oil, that's about a tablespoon, and we'll pop all of that in there. It will cook down quite a lot. It looks a very full dish at the moment, but all this veg will reduce a bit and concentrate the flavours and the sweetness too. So there we are. That's going to go into hot oven, that's sort of 170, for about 20 minutes. Okay, so the veg has had quite a good 20 minutes in the oven now. I'm going to weigh out the rice. So we had rice and stock, just that dry rice to the pan. So I'll just measure that out. We're going to go for 250 grams of rice. Just ordinary long grain rice. It could be basmati, but just ordinary cheap rice is fine. This should serve about 6 people. But I like to make it in quite a large quantity because it's lovely the next day for a quick lunch or leftover lunch. Really nice. Reheats in the microwave really easily. So we're going to put the rice in, that's nice measured there, and make up some stock. Now you might have made your vegetable stock. If you make your own vegetable stock, it is lovely, but it's not salty. And you buy stock cubes, anything like that, will have quite a lot of salt in. So use your own fresh stock, your vegetable stock if you've made it, or chicken stock if you've made it. But you might want to add a bit more salt than you would if you're using a stock cube. So just going to make up about, this is a ½ litre jug. So I'll do 2 of these. Get that ready. Stir. Now we're going to make this a bit spicy. I've got some korma paste there, which I just do find very handy. You could just put a teaspoon of curry powder in. If you don't want to use any hot spice at all, this is very mild. You could just put some a little garam masala or some cumin. It's very good. Ground cumin adds a lovely flavour, but no chilli. So if you want to get your kids used to a bit of Indian flavours, really good way to do that. That's really cooked down. I mean, that's half what it was, but all the flavour will be there. It'll be lovely. So just pop the rice in. Dollop of korma paste. I'm just going to stir that into the liquid. Pour over the liquid, and that is only ½ litre, so I want a whole litre in there. And because I've used a whole stock cube, I think that's enough. It'll be salty and tasty enough. We'll just top up with water for the litre. Give it a little bit of a stir. Now you can cover that with foil, really. Or if you did this in a casserole with a lid, put the lid on. Sure it's sealed quite tightly. I'm going to pop that back in the oven, same temperature, for about 30 minutes. Right, so I'm just checking on the biryani now. That's had about 30 minutes. And as you can see, it's starting to cook. The rice is looking quite soft. And there's still quite a lot of, it smells delicious. I wish you could smell it. It smells really nice. Still a lot of liquid on it, which is good, because it needs a bit more. It needs to absorb a bit more still. So we'll just cover that back up. Put that in for another, probably 15 minutes. This is something you can probably leave in the oven for quite a while if you want to just leave it to get on with itself. As long as it's got a lid on it or a foil, it's not going to go too far wrong. So let's have a look at the biryani. It should be done by now. Oh yes, that looks lovely. So now the rice is all lovely and soft, and all the liquid is absorbed. Now, if you checked it and thought the rice wasn't soft, you can check a little bit. Nice and soft. If the rice isn't cooked and the liquid's all gone, just top it up with some hot water from the kettle. That's fine, and leave it to cook a bit longer. Or maybe some of your vegetables aren't quite cooked. If you use some hard root vegetables, they might need a bit longer. Now you can add other things to this. You can add peas or sweet corn that you might have frozen or tinned. If you're going to, those both are almost cooked really already. Frozen, not quite, but they don't need very long. So just in the last few minutes, pop those in and stir them in for the last few minutes. I like to serve that with, our family's favourite is mango chutney. Love it. Mango chutney, and if you've made it quite spicy, have maybe some thick natural yoghurt to put with it as well. You could go the whole hog and get poppadoms or other pickles and things with it, but really it's just quite a nice warming, hearty, easy, cheap rice dish. So enjoy.